The world of digital products is a magical and mystical place. It's the passive income we've dreamed of. It's making money while we sleep. It's confusing. Welcome to PodSchool. Today's lesson is going to be about how to make and sell your first digital product. When I think about the most impactful and accessible ways for podcasters to make money from podcasting, especially within that first year, it's having a digital product. Most of the time, your first digital product can be created with minimal time and very limited overhead. So you don't need a lot of time or money, and I think that that's why this is so appealing for new podcasters. But of course, the big question is, what are you going to make and how are you actually going to sell it? Hello and welcome to Podcast for Profit. My name is Morgan Franklin. I'm a podcast producer, strategist, and educator. This podcast will help you create and grow a podcast that cuts through the noise of social media and speaks directly to your target audience. If you're ready to create a podcast that will align you with the experts in your industry, position yourself as a trusted leader, and create another source of revenue for your business, you're in the right place. In this episode, we'll talk through those two specific questions. What kind of digital product will you create? What could that look like for you and your podcast? Then how will you sell it? How can you take this idea and actually turn it into a product that your audience wants to buy? About a year ago, I started my own journey trying to figure out what digital products I'd sell from this podcast, from my own podcast. And despite the glitz and glamour and excitement, I realized that this was not going to be as easy as I thought it was going to be. First of all, I had no idea what I was going to sell. One, what would people actually want to buy from me? And two, how was I actually going to create that thing and sell it? Digital products can be anything. And I want to take a small step back here to talk about digital products and what they are before we really get into the episode. Productfolio says that a digital product is any product or service that is primarily based on digital technology, existing in a non-physical or intangible form. Okay, what does that mean, right? Basically, that means that this is a virtual product or service that someone can buy and use in a virtual space. Again, what does that mean? For example, I think of one of the first digital products that I ever bought, which was songs on Apple iTunes to play on my iPods. Now, obviously, most of us will not be selling songs or any kind of audio like that, but another product that I remember buying early on was presets for Photoshop and Lightroom to edit photos. I'd buy these from independent sellers and use them in conjunction with my Adobe software. And again, you might not have this kind of digital product either, but look on how to achieve the same results that you've been able to achieve, or maybe a calendar or a Canva template or literally hundreds of other things. There are endless possibilities on what you could create and sell, but as I'm sure that you know, especially as a podcaster, endless possibilities does not always help you figure out what you should be doing or what you need to create. And that's why I made the most incredible tool for all my podcasters, for you, so that you can figure out what kind of digital product that you could sell and what your audience actually wants to buy from you. It's a form and it's going to be linked in my episode description. And how it works is basically you put in the information about your podcast and your audience, and if you have any digital products already, and it'll just instantly email you 10 ideas for products you can sell. I've been working on this tool for several weeks, and I am just so excited for you to use it. I cannot wait to hear what you have to say. And all you have to do is take about a minute and a half to fill out everything about your podcast and audience, and the ideas will be emailed directly to you. It is that easy. Figuring out what kind of digital product that you should create is a lot like figuring out what your podcast should be about. That's what it reminds me of so much, because it needs to be at the intersection of your own knowledge and what you have to provide already, and what the audience wants to hear from you or to buy from you. There has to be that even balance of what we can create and what people actually want. My best suggestion for starting out is to look at what you've already made for yourself or your clients. I'll use myself as an example. I was producing podcasts professionally for about 3 years before I started thinking about what I was going to sell or any kind of digital product. So when I was brainstorming, I took a look at all the things that I had already created for my clients. What was I already using on a day-to-day basis to make this podcast production work? And my 2 digital products that I launched with and that I'm still selling are my podcast media kit and my podcast guest questionnaire template. And I'd made both of those and perfected them to the point that I thought when I'm thinking about what I think podcasters need and what they would need to produce their first podcast well, and I thought, okay, if this works well for me, I think other podcasters would love this too. Take a look at what systems and tools that you already have in place and figure out if there's any way that you can package those up to sell them. I know that might sound a little bit confusing, but I think about a client who I'm working with currently that is in the primary education space. So teaching parents and students about ages K through 4th grade, so 5 to 10. There are so many worksheets and templates and calendars that they could sell online. And even better if all of those came with a video or a podcast episode or a private podcast episode to accompany them. That would be so incredible for a parent who's trying to help their student in the classroom. Or what about somebody that's an accountant or a lawyer or a business coach? There are just so many worksheets and templates and guidelines that you could make to sell to people. It is insane. But again, figuring out what to sell is only half the battle, because maybe you have a great idea for a template or even a live coaching seminar. How do you make sure people really want it? And how do you get it out there for them to purchase? This is where I think wait lists are such a practical and important tool. A waitlist can be really easy. I use Kit, formerly known as ConvertKit, as my email management software. They literally have a free landing page, like you don't have to pay for anything or for any of their services. They have a free landing page where you can set up a waitlist and start collecting people's emails. Also, I want to clarify, when I say waitlist, I mean that you are just collecting people's contact information that are interested in an idea that you have, that you explain is coming out or is in development. That way, when you finally launch the product, you already have a list of people that you know are interested in it, and you can gauge the interest of the people signing up on that wait list, because you would rather make a wait list that doesn't get any signups than create an entire course that takes you months and hundreds or thousands of dollars to make, and then no one buys it. So think about setting up a wait list to get people excited for any kind of products that you're even thinking about making. That way you can gauge, okay, are people actually as interested in this as I am making it? The next thing is ask the people who are already working with you. Just say, hey, I really value you as a client. I value you as a listener. I want to know what I could do to make your life easier. What problems are you having right now? Then go from there. You don't have to guess what people need or what they want. Ask them what they need. And think about what people ask you the most. Like literally, what are the questions that people ask you the most? What are people paying you to do the most often? What are your most listened to episodes? Think beyond your podcast. Again, what are you hired most frequently to do? What's the information or tools that you're giving to people that they value the most? Again, and if you're having any questions about this or thinking, oh my gosh, I have no idea what people ask me, I want to plug again the tool that I made for you. It is linked in the episode description, and it takes account of all of these questions. All right, so let's say that you have an idea of what you want to do. Let's say that you're a cake decorator and you help other cake decorators to book out their entire calendar year. You're selling a digital calendar, a profit and loss sheet, and a Canva template set that's customizable social media posts for their business. You already have a podcast about the same topic, helping cake makers make money and book their full calendar year. So now what we need to think about is how are you going to take this idea to reality? The first things first, I would make a wait list, and whether that's on your website or through your email hosting, doesn't really matter. Start a wait list page and mention it in every episode. So say, hey, I'm launching these digital products. Here's what they are going to be loosely. Here's who it's going to help. Sign up for the wait list and be the first one to know about the launch. And maybe you have a promotional deal or something. And then put the wait list in every single episode description so that people can easily sign up if they are interested. Next, you're going to figure out what you already have and what you need to create. So maybe you already have all of the things and you're using them for yourself. In that case, it wouldn't really take that much work. But maybe you haven't. Maybe you have a really rough profit and loss. Maybe that you're trying to design some of these things. For podcasters who are just a one-person show, this is where things like Upwork and Fiverr are going to be your best friend. Look for people and vendors that will help you to design these digital templates because there are hundreds of people. This is all that they do. They help people make digital products to sell. So type in what you're looking for and take the time to look at what these different vendors have done. Read the reviews. This is not something that you just want to pick the first person that pops up. Make sure that you're hiring someone that you know what they are going to be giving you and that you like what they are giving you. Because think about it. I mean, after that, you're going to take what they give you and sell it to somebody else. So make sure that the people that you are working with are creating things that you would be proud and excited to sell. Then from there, and whether you're cleaning up your own stuff or you've got your PDF or Excel or Canva links that you've bought and helped work with another person to make, these files are going to be ready for you to start selling to buyers. So how does that process really work? This is the part where you can go a lot of different directions. Personally, I use Shopify. This is not sponsored by Shopify, but I wish it was. If you have a Squarespace website, I believe that they do have an e-commerce capability. Basically, you just need a place to have a digital storefront to sell this product. There are hundreds of ways to do this. If you have a link tree, even in your Instagram description, I know that they just launched a digital storefront. And most of the time, it is as easy as uploading the document that you want to sell. You fill out the information about it, and then you just start selling. There's a lot of different options. But my best advice is to do some research and see what's going to serve you the best for the amount of money that you're putting into it. No one wants to lose money on just hosting their digital product and not making any sales, because I've seen that happen too. So if I were you, I would start with a really low cost option, and especially if you only have one or two products, so that you're not spending $50, $60, $70 a month and then maybe not even making that return. Try to go for something free or under $20 a month. All right, so now we figured out what our product will be. We have a place where people can buy it. And now we are tasked with making sure that people know why and how to buy it. That's the $1,000,000 question, right? That's why every marketer has a job. But let me just say, as a podcaster, you already are so far ahead of the curve. You already have an audience that is coming to listen to you. However, this is still a delicate balance. I've read hundreds, probably thousands of one-star podcast reviews complaining about how the host is always selling. And it's so annoying that this podcast is just one long ad. So again, we have to make sure that we're always putting our listener first, because if they aren't listening, it doesn't really matter how amazing the product is or how great of a job we've done at marketing it on our own podcast. If no one's there to listen, it really does not matter. Listeners want value. And I think as podcasters that we should focus on that a little bit more when we're trying to sell our own products on our podcast. How is this product going to bring value to your listener? How can you explain how it works? How can you explain how you've used it? How can you explain why you made it? Sell the benefits of this product and not the features. How is it going to improve the listener's life? You know what to do. If you want to sell a digital product, but you still aren't sure what it could be, use my free tool. It's linked in the episode description. It'll take information about your podcast and your audience and a little bit of magic from me and email you 10 digital product ideas that are made specifically for you and your podcast audience. It's the most amazing tool that I have ever made for podcasters, and I'm so proud of it. I can't wait to hear what you think. Like I said, Should take a little bit less than 2 minutes to use, so go ahead and give it a try. If you want some one-on-one help from me on how to create products to sell on your podcast or how to sell the products that you already have on your podcast, my contact information will be in the episode description. You can schedule a free exploratory call with me. And as always, I can't wait to listen to your podcast. Hey, thank you so much for joining me on this episode. If you enjoyed the podcast and you'd like to hear more episodes like this one, go ahead and subscribe to the show. New episodes air every Monday morning. And if you found this episode valuable and you want to help other business owners and podcasters, will you leave me a 5-star review? It helps the show rank higher in the charts and brings more entrepreneurs the information they need to start making money on their podcast.